The good wolf versus the bad wolf. Hands down, when I heard this story many years ago, I fell in love with it because I resonated with it so much. But it wasn't the fact that I just resonated with the story itself. It's just because it puts it in a perspective of pretty much everything in life, right? It's the yin to the yang. It's the good to the bad. It is the night to the light, right? The darkness to the sun. It's all these different things. It's the hot to the cold. It's the, it's the good and it's the bad. And the good wolf versus the bad wolf, it's in all of us. Honestly, it's in all of us. And I can't stress that enough. And it's not like there's going to be a winner and a loser, because they're both going to be fighting at all times. And sometimes that good wolf is going to win more so than the bad wolf. And other times the bad wolf is going to win more than the good wolf. But this is the simple principle of what we teach over at Heartletics when it comes to applying our nutritional habits, right? The mindset of nutrition, the 80-20 principle where, hey, at the end of the day, we don't want you to cut out anything. Alcohol, burgers, pizza, chocolate, donuts, anything like that, because we know for a fact it's not going to work long term. And so everything in moderation is great, but those days where, hey, we maybe do fall off the wagon, right? Maybe we do just completely go AWOL, mess up on workouts here and there and just completely forget about it. You could put in there dinners, anniversaries, cheat days, holidays, where you just go AWOL, right? Hey, you don't want to stop. You just want to continue to eat, and that's fine, because I have those days all the time, right? Maybe you're traveling, there's a nice restaurant there, and you want to go eat there, and maybe you don't want to eat the healthiest thing on the menu, right? Maybe you want to try the grand, thing that they're known for, right? Maybe like a Chicago deep dish pizza or something like that, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, we always like to say it like this. It's okay to fall off the wagon. It's okay to have those days where you don't feel like showing up. It's okay to, be sick, or have some injuries and miss your workouts. It's okay. But there's 300, right, in 65 days in a year. Let's just try to be really good at 300 of them. Because then, right, we're feeding the good wolf more than the bad wolf. Now, if you never heard this story, you're probably like, what is going on here? What is these two different wolves Coach Joe is talking about? So I highly recommend you look this up and find all the details about this story. Just Google search it or go to YouTube, right? But the good wolf versus the bad wolf. Long story short, there was this, Cherokee tribe. And they're sitting down, they're having a campfire late at night, telling stories. And the grandfather, right, the Cherokee tribe, he's telling his grandson the story about this vicious battle, okay, between the good wolf and the bad wolf. And it's just a complete war. They're fighting constantly, days on end, okay? And it's vicious, And he's saying that, the good wolf is the ones that's about courage and love and joy and peace. And this is what makes him good. It's all these good feelings, good emotions, good vibrations, right? They want to do a lot of good into the world. They want to do a lot of good for themselves. They want to help out their communities. They want to help out them, the people that they love, their friends, their family, everything like that. It's the good wolf. And then it's the bad wolf, right? This bad wolf is selfish. It only cares about himself. This bad wolf is, the one that has a lot of hate, negativity, fear, anxiety, stress, depression. Just there's nothing good about it. That's why he's the bad wolf. And, he only cares about himself. So if there's somebody out there that's trying to do a lot of good and put that out there into the world, aka the good wolf, he doesn't want anything to do with it. He wants to kill that good wolf. He wants to destroy that bad wolf. And this battle goes on and on and on. And it's vicious, right? Blood's everywhere between these two wolves. And the Cherokee tribe, the grandfather, is going into great details about this. And then he just stops. He just says, hey, that was it. The war right? That battle between them, it just stopped. It ended. And like Everybody's looking around at the Cherokee tribe, like, the grandfather, just like, okay. And it wasn't until the little boy said, okay, his grandson said, hey, so who won? Right? Everybody's like in suspense there. Who won that battle? And the Cherokee tribe, the grandfather looks down at his grandson and he just says gently and softly, whichever one that you feed the most. And man, when I heard that story, it resonated with me so much. Because, like, I'll be honest with you guys, from a business perspective, okay? And then I'll talk about it from a health and fitness perspective also. And, like, there has a lot to do with, we all have this good wolf, bad wolf. And I know what that bad wolf is. And I'll share with that in a little bit. Because if you know what it is, you can identify it, you can probably make a greater justification to not feed it, okay? Or at least, hey, let's make sure we feed the good wolf a lot more. Because once again, there's going to be plenty of times that you fall off the wagon, you fail at that. It's only human nature. No one can be perfect. Okay. So, business perspective, right? When you have a business, you got to be focused on the outcome of what you're trying to achieve for the overall, scheme of things. And I'm a big fan of, impact over income. And this is why, I talk about goal setting a lot. And you got to have, clarity, right? 3 things to achieve your goals. 1, you have to know what it is that you want. Well, hey, I want to change the world. I want to help, right? Millions of people learn how to, eat healthier, have a better mindset, and train their bodies properly. I feel like there's so much negativity out there, and a lot of, people and influencers and coaches and trainers make it so much hard, right? When it doesn't need to be, right? It's pretty simple stuff. It's just that it needs to be taught in a way where it's applicable to somebody's lifestyle where they can easily do it, that fits in best with their lifestyle. And that's what our main focus is at Heartletics, is helping guys create sustainable habits. And so that's the main goal. But it's like, why do I want to do that? Well, it's like, I want to do that because 1, I want to make sure my son is growing up in a world where there's a lot less negativity that we have going on right now. I know if I help change a lot of people's lives and a lot more people are positive, they have a better mindset, there's going to be a lot more joy, peace into the world. So it's like, hey, I want to do my part here on earth because I know my time, it's limited, right? It's finite. I'm going to die one day. So I want to make sure that I'm doing what I can to, 1, help out as many people as possible, but 2, doing my part here to leave the world a better place than how I found it, But then also, you have to learn about who do you have to become. And so who do you have to become is obviously, for me, a better business owner, right? I have to have a better mindset. I have to invest more into coaches, invest more into different people that are able to help out millions and millions of people at scale and figure out, okay, what are they doing? How are they able to do that? And instead of me trying to do this all by myself, right, I'm just going to go ahead and pay for their services and fast track that, right? Because once again, you can always make your money back in life. You can't make that time back. That's the most precious commodity here on earth. So it's just like, I see the vision. It's very, very clear. Now, let me put it in perspective. That vision is good. We'll say that's the good wolf. But there's also the bad wolf that could be with that exact goal, right? So remember, overall scheme here, business owner. And I'm a big believer in impact over income. Somebody that might be a business owner might just want the money. Okay, so why do they want the money? Well, maybe I want, cars, clothes, nice things. Nothing wrong with that at all, right? I'm just saying, though, that's not a deep-rooted why, though. It's kind of surface level. And so, who do they have to become? Well, hey, maybe they have to just, run Facebook ads or do this, whatever the case may be, right? But regardless, if you're looking at 2 different perspectives, one person, right, where my main mission is how do I change more people's lives? How do I really leave this world a better place? Doing this for my son, doing this to leave a legacy, doing this to just help out millions of people. And I know for a fact, hey, who do I have to become? Hey, it's somebody with a different mindset, somebody with a different, business model, right, that could run at scale, whatever the case may be, versus somebody over here that's doing it, But at the same time, there's plenty of times where somebody signs up for my coaching program and we get the money and I'm like, I love this. I want more. I want more. I want more. Instead of me thinking about, okay, this is great. They paid me for my services, right? They trusted us with their coaching program to help them achieve their goals. How do I get more people, not more money? And so that's the bad wolf, right? I got him at times. I'm just being completely honest with you guys on this one. I got him at times. Put in a health perspective, right? Maybe you're not a business owner. A health goal perspective is, hey, maybe you want to lose some weight. Okay, so why do you want to lose some weight? Well, hey, maybe I want to lose some weight just so I look good with my shirt off, and it's all vanity reasons. It's all kind of selfish. Instead of, hey, I want to lose weight so that way I can lead others to also have success at their fat loss journey. And they can be inspired to take action and start eating healthier and training more effectively. And I can be that little spark of inspiration for them. Remember, hey, two different things. It's not necessarily that, vanity reasons are a bad thing. No, it's not. Right? But like, you got to put it in terms of like, what's going to put you into a more positive mood, right? A higher vibration, so to speak, a higher frequency. And so that's where it comes to really mapping out your goals, right? Remember, making money, there's nothing wrong with that at all, right? I feel like everybody should make as much money as they possibly can, because the more money I make, the more coaches I can hire, the more, I can put into advertisement to get the message across the board about Heartletics and help out others, right? Donations for churches, right? Tithing more, investments, right? To help out other businesses, right? Like different joint ventures, whatever the case may be. Everybody just needs to have a different mindset when it comes to this. But you have to put it in terms of what is going to produce a lot more good rather than, hey, what am I really doing this for? And so this good wolf versus bad wolf, we all have it. And now I mentioned this in the beginning. I know what the bad wolf is. And if you can identify what that bad wolf is, you can sure enough make sure that you're not feeding it as much. Because remember, there's going to be times you're going to fall. Plenty of times where I fall. Okay? The bad wolf's that ego. And what is your ego? Well, your ego is the one that loves you to stay in your comfort zone. It doesn't want you to grow. Your ego is the one that's also going to be feeding you so many lies about how you can't do this, how it's going to be hard, how it's going to be challenging, and how you're going to fail. The ego is also going to be the one that's feeding you the lies of, hey, you can do this all by yourself. And I fed that ego so many times in my life, and I continue to feed it. Okay, there's, once again, times where I fail. I'm only human. But anytime I went through a growth period in my life and I had success where it brought me to that next stage, the next level of where I was trying to get to, whether in terms of my business, my fitness, my personal development, my mindset, whatever the case may be, it's because I had to have faith and trust and feed that good wolf more. And sometimes it's hard, right, to feed the good wolf. This is why I always say, like, it's hard, right, to do the right things in the beginning, but it makes the overall pathway to having success at reaching your goal so much easier at the end of the day. So I'll put it to you like this. It's hard for guys to invest into our coaching program because, one, they got to be open-minded. Two, they have to admit that they don't know what they're doing. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of guys suffer at. Think about it, right? You need to have somebody that teach you how to drive a car. You need to have somebody to teach you how to maybe change a tire or change your oil. You need to have somebody to teach you how to brush your teeth, right? Your parents had to do that when you were a little kid. It's not like you just were just like 2 years old and decided to grab a toothbrush, toothpaste, and do it all by yourself. Like, no. You needed someone to teach you, right? Math and different classes going throughout, school and high school and whatnot. You needed somebody to teach you how to, do anything in life. Drive, ride a bicycle, literally anything. But at some point, right, we start feeding those egos more and more and more where we're like, okay, well, hey, I acquired all the knowledge on how to do all this. I can do this without having somebody teach me. And this is where guys typically try to do the easy route. Hey, let me just do intermittent fasting or cut out my carbs or tons and tons of cardio, right? And instead of them focusing on what's hard, like maybe, investing into a coach or mentor to give them the knowledge, right? The acquisition of the proper, essentials of fat loss and how to apply that and then holding them accountable, right? That's hard to do in the beginning, but then it makes it so much easier because once you learn that knowledge, which, hey, knowledge is power here, people. Once you learn that knowledge, it's very hard for you to go back to your old ways. Compared to, hey, instead of us not investing in a coach and doing the hard things in the beginning, we're going to do the easy route. Cut out the carbs, cardio, intermittent fasting, whatever the case may be. Easy in the beginning, you see short-term success, but If it's not sustainable and you don't know how to sustain that success, realistically, you're going to fall off the wagon and go back to your old ways. So sometimes something's hard in the beginning, but it's the right thing to do that makes it easy at the end of the day. Versus something that's easy in the beginning, but it's not sustainable, it makes it hard at the end of the day because you just wasted a bunch of time by falling off the wagon and going back to your old ways. And you can use this for not just health and fitness, but anything, right? It's always the best right option to decide to do the hard things first. For me, for example, right? I wasted a lot of money when I first got started off with Heartletics, and I talk about this a lot. You know, the first year, legit, it was like $50,000 I spent, right? And that's just income. That's just money, right? You can make that money back. Yeah, it takes a long time. That was like my whole life savings, so to speak, right? But guess what? You can always make that money back. But I wasted so much money trying YouTube ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, this website, this, everything. The second year, same thing. I didn't waste as much money, but I wasted a good chunk of it. And it wasn't until that third year where, you know, hey, my accountant sat down with me, and I remember him telling me, looking me in the eyes, he said, hey, this is another year, basically, you're not profitable. You can't keep doing this. I think you should, give it a, quit, basically, right? Decide to not have this side hustle anymore, because I was working for a full-time employer as I was building up Heartletics. And it wasn't until he said that and I said, all right, I think I know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to first fire you, because if you're not going to be helping me, right, or believing in me, why are you on my team? So I fired that accountant the next week, right, like ASAP. And then what I did was I took my last $10,000 into savings and I invested into a business coach. That was a hard thing to do, right? This guy hit me up on Instagram, right? Hey man, I see you're a fitness coach. Want to hop on a quick call? I can help you grow your business. I'm like, all right, this is the biggest scam in the world. But I was desperate. And I said, I don't know what to do here. I don't want to continue to do this anymore. I don't want to continue to waste away money and just like trial and error how to do this all by myself. Let's give it a shot. And I signed up for a call. Changed my life. Put $10,000 in, and here I am today. I got multiple employees that work for me, and I get to do what I love to do full time, not a side time project, full time. And I've been helping out so many people. I think the worst part into me feeding my ego was not the fact that I said I can do this all by myself and, just trial and error and wasting away a bunch of money. That was not the worst part. The worst part was those first 3 years in the business when I wasn't, producing any income, right? Any revenue, so to speak. I wasted the opportunity of 3 years of changing hundreds of people's lives. And that is the hardest thing that I have to swallow. That's my regret. Is like, yeah, I had to go through all that hardship, of wasting away the money, but that doesn't matter because you can make that money right back, I, though, can't make that time back with 3 years of not having the impact in this world that I wanted to, and probably wasted the opportunity of training hundreds of people, right? By trying to just feed my own bad wolf, feed my own ego, and do this all by myself. So there's probably been some situations in your life where, at the end of the day, you had to make a hard decision in the beginning, but it ended up being very good for you at the end of the day. And it's kind of like Steve Jobs says, right? You can't connect the dots looking forward in life. You can only connect the dots looking backwards in life. And sometimes when you're going through some storms in life, it's very easy to feed the bad wolf. It's very easy to feed the ego. It's very easy to, do what's easy. But at the end of the day, it's not the right thing. It's only going to make things harder. So just remember this as we wrap things up. I suffer with that ego all the time. But at the end of the day, the more you feed the good wolf, the better and stronger it gets. Because you can't kill that ego. You can't defeat the bad wolf once and for all. It doesn't work like that. But what you can do is make sure that you're feeding and strengthening up that good wolf more so than the bad wolf. And this is why we always say there's 365 days in a year. Hey, 65 days, scratch that off. Those are those days where You don't feel like doing your mindset techniques. You don't feel like, hitting your protein goal. You don't feel like working out. You don't feel like, whatever the case may be, showing up, right? It's A-okay. That's part of life. But as long as we're having those 300 days, hey, we're going to make sure we're still winning the year. And that's all I want for you, is to make sure that you're showing up each and every day, 1% better. That's it. That's all we always say at Heartletics. And, we're continuing to feed the good wolf as much as we can, more so than the bad wolf. So hopefully this story has helped you, especially if you're somebody that has fallen off the wagon or feel like you're struggling right now, or maybe can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it makes it a lot easier by doing the hard things, first and foremost, because then you can look back and say, I'm really glad I decided to do that, instead of spin my wheels and trial and error and feed the ego of doing it all on my own. So hopefully, once again, this story has inspired you and helped you out. If it did, let me know, and we'll talk soon. Peace out, Girl Scout.